The biggest block to your personal transformation. What is it? That is the topic of today's Soul Sovereignty and Sexuality podcast with myself, Jessica Falcon, International Soul Embodiment Guide and Relationship Expert. And I have noticed this recently, and so I want to speak to it. I am all about transformation. I've never met anybody who comes into my field, whether it's to work with me one-on-one, attend a retreat or a workshop, that doesn't experience transformation. And one of the main reasons is that I work with my clients on an energetic level, emotional level, and mental level. And beyond that, the soul level, which is really the source of it all. And the greatest mystery. The way that I define the soul is the individuated aspect of the divine that is you, your unique essence, the divine emanating in and through and as you. And we access this through the body, which is why I call myself a soul embodiment guide, because it's about bringing more and more of your divinity into form, bringing more and more of your truth into how you live your life, and to show up as the divine being that you are. And this is the transformation that I provide. And yet, I cannot do it for you. I cannot do this for my clients. I provide them the tools. I provide the energetic activations. I provide the emotional awareness. I provide the thought work. We do the reprogramming together. Your soul talks to me through my body. It shows me where we need to go. And here's the biggest block. And this is rare that I see this in my actual clients, but that I see in the world. And it has come up recently with someone. If you're not willing to see, it won't work. If you're not willing to see what you don't want to see, you're not willing to hear what you don't want to hear, you cannot transform. You have to be willing to see. You have to be willing to acknowledge what arises. You have to be willing to accept it. That doesn't mean you like it. It doesn't mean it's your truth. It doesn't even mean you have to act on it. What it does mean is that you hear it and you acknowledge it, and then you do the inner work to align to what is your soul's truth. You have to be an inquiry. You have to be curious. The subconscious mind and the ego can be tricky, and we have to transform the subconscious for you to transform the way you live and show up in your life. We have to transform the mind because it likes to grip onto control and the past and the known and what's familiar in order to feel safe, which is why we also have to work with the nervous system, because we have to rewire it to anchor into source grid and to love into your heart, not into the external world. And if you're not willing to be curious about what is here in this immense energetic field that exists within and around your body, if you're not curious about your patterns, if you're not curious about your attachments, if you're not curious about your emotions and your thoughts and your beliefs, you cannot transform. You have to be willing to see all of it. That's why what people call shadow work is so important. And I did another episode on shadow work. You have to be willing to see all of it. You have to receive it, not because you identify with it or attach to it, but because you are receiving it as what you have known to this point. You are receiving it as information that guides you into your soul's truth, that guides you into your power, that guides you into your sovereignty. The biggest block to transformation is not being willing to see all of yourself. The biggest block to transformation is not being willing to see that which has actually been holding you back. The biggest block to transformation is not being willing to see the parts of you that you don't like or agree with consciously or want to be there. You have to be willing to see in order to transform. This came up in a sacred body workshop that I was teaching in Asheville recently around inner self-development being work. And I was saying how it gets to be pleasurable and it gets to be fun. It does not have to be this arduous chore. I've been on the what quote self-development journey and the path to sovereignty since 2008. So what's that, 16 years? I don't have to do the math. And I certainly don't consider it a chore. Now, is it easy all the time? No, it's definitely not easy. But I don't consider it hard work because I consider it an ever-evolving, deepening relationship with myself and my truth and my power. And it's about me coming in and in and in more and more and more into inner union, into inner truth, into inner knowing, into inner trust. And we have to look at, if not seeing these parts of ourselves is the biggest block to transformation, then how do we start to see what we don't want to see? And that is a process that I know I take my own clients through, of developing internal levels of safety by starting to source that nervous system, to source your love and safety from within the God, divine being that you are. And that's a process of recognition and alignment. One key is that the more you can expand your heart and your capacity to love yourself and to vibrate this love in your cells, the more you will be able to do this. Because your nervous system is linked directly to your heart. Your heart is the biggest electromagnetic field of your body, and it regulates your nervous system. I will talk more about this on another episode around nervous system and healing the nervous system. But know that if you can just start to put your hands on your heart and breathe into your heart and feel the energy of love, you can do massive things for your system if you start to spread that love throughout your body and energy field. Massive. So simple, so powerful. Ego likes to complicate things, but it's definitely not necessary. And the more you can simply love. Now, I like to redefine what love means. And to me, love is to see. So the more you see, the more you love every part of you, and simply know that this love can never be taken away from you, no matter how, quote, wrong you think you've been, or quote, how bad you think you've been, or how much you've messed up, or the mistakes you've made. The easier it will be to see them so that you can align to your soul truth. Because that love isn't going to go anywhere. That love never goes anywhere. We just turn away from it. That love of the divine is within you, is expressing as you. And so when you turn away from that, that's when we start seeking externally our power and our safety and our worth. So the process of soul embodiment, for example, is to come back into that and to express as that. Just by energetic and boundaries and emotional and mental awareness is so key. The more that you can allow yourself to just be so curious. I know I've talked about curiosity briefly already, but the more you can allow yourself to be so curious about every single experience without trying to control that or block that or limit that. What is this? What is behind this? What is this? What is behind this? Why do I feel that way? What is the reason for that? So that you're willing to see the deeper layers that are at the root of this resistance, at the root of this fear, at the root of this pattern that you're trying to transform. Because your mind, your logic, your ration is trying to control that process, then you're not going to access the subconscious which is the energy, which is the root of what you're wanting to transform. And we access the subconscious through the feeling state and through the body, not the mind. And so if you spend time in inquiry with your emotions are not your truth. Your feelings are not your truth. They are energy moving through you. They are informing you. They are information about your truth. They are information that you need to know to align to your soul's truth. That's it. Information, not who you are. The more you can be in inquiry about your emotions and what's arising for you, the more you can have the awareness that you need in order to then align that thing to your soul's truth. Because you cannot transform if you're not aligning what that thing is that you're trying to transform to your soul's truth. You have to see it first. Okay. Feel like I've hit this on the head enough. I hope it's clear. Clear as day. You want to transform. You have to be willing to see all of you, all the things you don't want to see, all the things you don't want to hear, all the things you don't want to know, even the things that scare you the most. Those are the things to see. You don't have to tell anybody else. You don't have to act on it. You don't have to do anything. You just have to see it yourself. And then you have the information you need to do the rest of the work, which is to align that to your soul's truth. That's the transformation that will allow you to transform. You cannot change that which you do not see, right? You have to see it. Okay, Jessica Falcon, The Path to Sovereignty, inviting you to like, to subscribe, to leave your comments, how this landed for you. If there's any episodes that you'd like me to continue to dive deeper into, put them in the comments below or send me a message. I want to invite you, if you are ready for a deep level of transformation, into a divine activation portal with me. You can go to thepathtosovereignty.com to see what that looks like. I do 3, 6, or 9 sessions. It is a portal. Your soul takes the lead. And watch out, because you're going to transform and reclaim your sovereignty. I promise you. We work at the root. Lots of love. See you next week.